Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Jazzy, the Store Sasquatch here, and we are doing another horror movie night in the cave. I found two more new movies off Shudder. The first one here we're going to talk about is Dead Male, directed by Joe DeBoer and Kyle McConaughey, starring Sterling Mason Jr., John Fleck, Mickey Jackson, and Susan Priver. An ominous help note finds its way to a 1980s post office, connecting a dead letter investigator to a kidnapped keyboard technician. This was like a slow burn noir style movie. Honestly, for how much I don't like slow burns, this one really it kind of needed to be a slow burn. I kind of liked it. We start off in the post office in like Illinois, I guess they say it is. I think it's more like a European place or something where we're at, but they say it's Illinois. 1980s Illinois. Um, and we see the guy um, who is the dead letter or whatever. Pretty much, so basically, the post office has a person assigned to it, I guess, that tries to find the 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 letters that don't have full addresses or aren't really where they're aren't addressed right or whatever, and or even addressed at all. He tries to find and at least attempt to send it to wherever it has to be. I don't know if it's still around. It probably was more important in the 80s and today when we didn't have like email and like we weren't always connected and stuff like this to kind of try and find someone here. Basically, the guy gets sent like a Nillo. It has blood on it, and it says "Help me." It's like a little corner ripped off. It's from the bin that we end up later finding out in the movie from the post office bin that he ended up dropping it off at. Um, Yeah, and then it goes from there, and we see him going to like a old school YMCA, homeless type shelter for men. And when they get there, that's where we meet the other guy, and then the killer, pretty much, John Fleck. Um, he attacks him eventually, and then after that, we go to the story of where we're actually at, where we find out that this guy was John Fleck was helping um, another person to basically make a new like synthesized keyboard and sound like that. So he pretty much helps him out, gives him money, gives him all the place like a workshop and all that. So we see all this. Eventually, something happens, and they like get cross, and then like the guy kidnaps him, and that's kind of what the dead letter is there. And this whole story from there goes from here. It's a wild story. Honestly, it's pretty good. It's a great story for only having like as few many actors. I said 'cause it's always hard to do the 3, 2, 4 actor thing, and this is what pretty much it is here. Is like 4 or 5 actors all together, and they're telling a whole story here. Mainly John Fleck, and he has to go through so many different emotions, which is like surprising of how well he does. You might know him. Honestly, I knew that of him. I've seen him. He was one of the only people in this whole movie that I kind of spotted and was like, I know that guy. I can't think of what it is, but he's in stuff. And John Fleck is his name. And basically, he does a very good job. All everyone in the movie does a very good job. I give this movie a C plus overall. Shudder is pretty much killing it with these movies. But the other movie that we're going to talk about here is on Shudder too. Yeah, this one was pretty good. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely would. It was a slow burn for sure, and like it took a little bit to like get the story going. But once the story was going, it had a pretty great like I don't want to say like explosive ending, but like a pretty good ending with like a like a noir for a noirish type deal. Like I said, it's not full on noir, but it is kind of like there it is kind of anticlimactic in a way, a little bit with the slow burn and how much everything goes, and then how much we already know, and then where it turns. But it's still a good movie. It's still worth watching. Dead Male here, directed by Joe DeBoer and Kyle McConaughey. And the second movie we're going to talk about here is Shadow of God, directed by Michael Peterson, starring Mark O'Brien, Jacqueline Byers, Sean Johnston, and Adrian Howe, while performing an unauthorized exorcism on his father. An elite exorcist suspects the entity he is doing battle with might be a holy being, perhaps even God. Very good movie. Honestly, I end up watching all these like exorcism movies. I wouldn't even say it's like my favorite genre, but I end up like watching them just to like see the difference or see if there's any differences in what this one is portraying to what that one is portraying. And this one is like it's like three different movies. It's like an action movie, it's a horror movie with this, and then it's like a spiritual movie at the same time. So it's like three different type of movies here. Very good ending. I wouldn't even say it's like necessarily a slow burn, but you do have to kind of wind it up a little bit before it gets going. Yeah, this one was very good. It's like I said, like I don't really do many. I mean, I do a lot of exorcism movies, but I don't really end up liking a lot of them, and this is one of them. We start off right away, and I think that in some of them they do kind of start off right away like this, but this one starts off right away with an exorcism that kind of goes wrong, and then we see him kind of go back to his hometown area, kind of like beat up about what has gone on in Mexico where he was, and then as that happens, his father returns somehow, and when his father returns, like it says, it kind of he realizes that maybe like the spirit that he's supposed to be fighting isn't necessarily an evil spirit and could be God, and it kind of gets turned around through there. It's a very good movie with a very explosive ending. Even if it is a slow burn, that means that this movie does exactly what you want as a slow burn. It burns that long wick, and then at the end of it, it blows it up. Yes, this is one of the ones that I would check out and definitely recommend, even though it is an exorcism movie. Just because it is so different. Like I said, there's like three different movies, and the ending is so awesome. Like I don't ever remember exorcism movie like this, kind of ending like this, and like it feels right. Like it feels like you get like it feels different. Like everything about this movie feels different from what it is. I give it a B plus overall. This one and Shudder brought hard. It was very good. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a second one, maybe, or follow up to this movie, because I think this is gonna be one of those ones that Shudder kind of follows around. Like because it has to go to the top. I mean, this is one of the better movies I've seen in a while, especially in this genre of exorcisms and like religious horror or whatever it's gonna be. Even though there were some bangers last year, this one was one of the ones that will stick out this year too in that specific genre. Yeah, and it's not afraid to like I said, it kind of crosses genres. Is there's a couple action movie sequences, there's a couple of horror movie sequences, and there's a couple spiritual movie sequences. It all kind of just blends in, and it does it in a very well done. As a matter of fact, if you were like not paying attention to it and like you saw one scene and another scene, you'd think that you're watching two or three different movies, and that is kind of a compliment to what it is. So yeah, this is something I would definitely check out on Shudder. It is Shadow of God, directed by Michael Peterson. That's our horror movie um, for the week. Those are two new horror movies for the week. We're gonna try and do Sinners or something maybe next week in the middle of the week for the horror movie. I keep thinking about going to see that movie, and I was hoping that the drive-in would have it, and it didn't have it. So we'll try that. Comment below if you've seen Sinners. Let me know what you think about it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a good rest of your day or night. And please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section. And see you next time in the cave.